Hey, and welcome to what is right now an unnamed podcast. We don't really know what we're going to call it yet. We'll get talking about that in a minute. But what I can say is that it'll be a weekly 30 to 45 minute deal where we just have casual talk about anime, manga, maybe a few other things, but that's going to generally be the main purpose of it. We're going to break down news, we're going to talk about current episodes, upcoming shows, and stuff like that. Also, we might do some top lists, might play some games or something. We're not really sure. We're going to come up with a lot of ideas as it goes, and the show will continue to evolve. What I can say is it's going to be uncensored and for the most part not really edited. And it's going to be run by three people. I myself am 10K or TKB. We're going to also have the co host, Brandon. And then we're going to have Muggle. That was Brandon laughing there, by the way. Um, it's, and that's what it's going to be. Just the three of us going on with it. But first thing, do you guys want to say anything? I guess.
No, not really.
No, not good.
Okay.
Not yet.
Good contribution, guys. Okay. So first, I guess what we were going to talk about is, since this is unnamed and we have no name for it, we need a name for it, or else it's just going to be unnamed podcast episode 1. I don't really think that's a good name. I don't know. You guys were saying that well, actually, Muggle just found out about this shit last night. We kind of held it from him and didn't ask him because, quite frankly, I didn't think he was going to do it. I thought it'd be hard to convince him. But
No, the truth is that my opinion hardly matters here, and I'm just here as a filler until they find a proper person.
that's
to
not
actually
true.
do this.
His opinion actually matters to me more than he thinks it does. But Brandon was saying that he didn't really have any new ideas for the name. I think he gave a couple names before. I can't remember what they were. Um, does anybody
Excellent job.
does anybody have any ideas now?
I've completely forgotten the ones that I even suggested, so
Yeah,
hopefully-
spontaneous is our strong suit, and I believe it's yes.
Okay, well, you had been talking about how you were thinking about maybe naming it after like a group from a show and everything. Well, we decided that wasn't really a good idea. I thought that maybe we should go with like a phrase, maybe that was anime related. Like I used an example, your waifu is trash, but I don't really know if that's a good name for the podcast or not. Recently, I thought that maybe a couple good names would be like we could call it like 100% fan service or something.
That
Or
would be great.
then if
That
you
would
wanted
be
to
great.
throw an anime word in it from a show, then I thought something that you might like particular is if we went with like 100% fan service plus ultra.
I do like 100% fan service.
Yeah, I think 100% fan service definitely has a double meaning, so I like that quite a bit.
The puns are real. The puns are real.
Well, actually, yeah, I'm actually surprised because a lot of the pun names I could think of, like, if people were going to go with like something stupid like Anna Geeks or something like that, like I was thinking like stuff like that's fucking retarded. So like
Oh.
no
That's
pun name was
that's-
gonna work. So 100% fan service though, actually I thought sounded pretty good.
I do like that one so far.
Yes. Well, that is the only thing that we have put on the table other than the joke one. So let's see what else we got.
Okay,
What
so
else we got?
do we like
But
100%?
what was the first one though? I mean, that first one sounded all right to me.
What, your waifu is trash?
Your waifu is
Okay,
shit.
Because the first,
yeah,
because I
I
said
liked that one.
because I
but-
said 100% fan service, and then I said 100% fan service plus ultra.
Yes, that too.
Yeah, see, I don't like the plus ultra.
Okay, see, I thought you might like that just because the academia, and then it would be something from an anime.
I do love my All Might, but
I don't know. I tried a little too hard, I think.
Okay, well then, 100% fan service is just fine. I like that.
wait, the name tried too hard, or All Might's
Yeah.
tried?
He thinks that the plus ultra is trying too hard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
Well, I mean, so nobody else has any ideas. We could just stick with that, and that'll be fine.
Yeah, I can change it. All good.
No, I'm fine with 100% fan service.
Okay. Well, then I guess for
So am
now,
I.
for
Everybody's fine
now,
with Everybody's fine with 100% fan service.
so I guess for now, welcome to the 100% fan service
Oh,
episode
were we
1
talking about the name?
of the show.
What? What's the name of the show?
Wait, did you not know we were talking about the name?
I thought we were just talking about fan service in general.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
you don't generally
love
like
that.
you don't like fan service in general. So
I do
why would
like
you be
fan
for a name
service.
100% fan service?
I do like fan service.
I think there's a disconnect between the host and the co-host here.
Oh, or a disconnect from what he says all the time and what's in his brain.
I don't like it when it's.
No, he
it's-
is in denial constantly. So
I don't like it when it's just randomly thrown in to appeal to people. If it fits with the show, I'm all for it. Like Keijo, right? I've never seen it, but I'd be okay with the fan service that provides. That's like
Except
the
it
entire
doesn't
point of
have
the
fan
show.
service.
Did you know?
It actually doesn't.
A side note, did you know, I think it's a South American country, but after that show came out, they actually turned that into a real sport.
Yes. Well, I didn't know it was South Africa, but I know.
No,
like,
I thought it
someone
was
tried
some
to turn-
South American country. I'm not sure.
Yes.
If this was a real like podcast, we could have somebody like look it up and stuff, but we're not
Well,
like
I mean,
that.
we have the access of the internet right now, so.
But I know that. But anyway, know that in some country somewhere, it is a real sport, and that but Attack on Titan could actually be happening. And
To be honest,
No,
I thought
no,
it was
no.
already a sport. I thought it was based on some, like Japanese game show sport thing that they did.
well, I think during like American Gladiators, they used to have something like that, but not with like asses, like with actual like, like
Oh, with
staffs.
the sticks, yeah.
Yeah. But I know that, but somewhere it's a real sport. Anyway, so I guess for now, since I don't know, well, it's 100% fan service for now. The name of the show, I guess. So next week, I guess next week on the show, we're gonna get more into the final episodes of this season and how the shows this season ran, since only a few of them have ended and a lot more will be ending throughout the week. So later on in this episode, I guess what we'll be doing is just talking about our impressions of previews and stuff for the upcoming shows, what we're thinking of, like what we think about them and stuff. And I guess we'll open this episode with what we're going to usually be trying to do, which is some news for the week. So we're going to be going through, collecting some news for the week, trying to figure out what we want to talk about. What we collected this week, I think first what we collected, God, this week was some Full Metal Alchemist movie talk that was happening this week. And we don't just have to talk about just the news from this week, because since this is our first episode, we haven't talked about the Full Metal Alchemist live action movie at all. And I know we have some opinions on that. I'm sure anybody listening or whatever knows that there's a Full Metal Alchemist live action movie. If you didn't, well, there's trailers and a poster out and everything for all the enjoyment or complaining that people want to do. So what did we in general think about the Full Metal Alchemist live action movie?
Whoa. I can tell you what the creator of Full Metal Alchemist thinks about the show.
Actually, you can't tell me what the creator talks about the movie, but you can tell me what the director thinks about the movie. And that's actually one of the things we were going to talk about. Because the director of the anime is against the movie. He was also talking some shit about the Gintama movie this week, saying the Gintama movie looks stupid, which I kind of disagree with, because
live action?
I haven't seen the Gintama movie, but I think from the preview it looks like it fits the show. And he said that the Terraformers movie is a very bad adaptation of a great manga. I have not seen it, but I can imagine that with Japanese live-action special effects, that the cockroaches probably don't look very good. But
That's
no, he
understandable.
did have a problem with all live-action, though. You're right. He was talking about how live-action people can't possibly capture the original feel of the anime, which I think is true, because really, like, no matter who you cast, like, no one's ever gonna look
Gonna
enough
have
like the
an
character.
anime eye.
No, it's not even just about the eyes.
I definitely agree with you on that. But I gotta say, I think they're definitely picking up their production values for this movie compared to other movies. And I think that just has to do with how popular Full Metal Alchemist is.
I guess it's gonna be really, really special effects heavy though, and with the Japanese movies, generally when they go special effects, their budget's usually not that high for the special effects that are usually required. But I mean, in the stills, like just the pictures at least, Al does look pretty good. I don't know if he'll end up being a Grand Moff Tarkin in the actual movie or not, but
See, I don't like Al at all. I don't like the look of Al at posters and the stills, but
well,
we'll see when it comes out.
I remember you telling me that you thought Al looked too short, but I think when you look in the poster and you see that Ed's standing on the rock, I don't think it looks as bad. My only problem in the poster. Now, I think generally they like look all right. Like I said, nobody's going to actually look like the character, but I have a big problem with gluttony. I don't see why you couldn't have just got like a Danny DeVito height character and put some CGI or some makeup on him and made him look more like Gluttony. It just doesn't look right.
I mean, for live action though, that's probably as close as you're gonna get without going full CGI. And they're probably blowing that entire budget on Al.
Or on hopefully a lot of the alchemy effects, I would hope.
You can tell they blow it on out because the hair on Ed is just. What is that? Oh, come on! Could you just dye the dude's hair? Come on, dye hair is a thing, right?
Don't sell out Hawkeye. Or he's a Hawkeye either. She has a pretty bad looking wig too.
Look at that! I mean, look at that! Seriously, look at that and tell me that doesn't. Oh, come on! What is that?
I think Hawkeye looks fine. Okay.
Okay, I need to look up Hawkeye. Winry's good. Winry's fine.
Winry is like one of the ones I'm least happy with in that picture.
She looks like a human being. She looks like she has regular.
Okay, but you were talking about dyeing
features.
Hair. Her hair color isn't accurate.
Oh no, yeah, I don't mean accuracy aside. I mean just saying she looks like a human being with real hair. That just looked like. I don't even. What the? Come on.
I'll agree that she looks like a human being, but I don't think.
I'm kind of put off by the fact that I don't know which one is King Bradley. That's what really bothers me. I
don't think there's.
You know what? I think I agree because when I was looking at the poster, I couldn't tell if anybody was supposed to be Bradley either. But then again, maybe he's not even in the movie.
I was just thinking that too.
Why wouldn't he be?
Like,
because I'm looking at a list of the characters and I don't see King Bradley.
See, Muggle there. You ask why he wouldn't be in the movie, but have you seen the Attack on Titan live action movies?
No.
Quite a lot of missing very important characters.
Yeah, except he's the fucking Hitler. How can you not have him in there?
Okay, I understand.
It's Hitler.
But in Attack on Titan, for instance, you've seen Attack on Titan, right? I know you're not generally a big fan of it.
Yeah.
Okay, but you know, like Levi, right?
No, I don't
or
remember.
Levy or whatever, you know the character. Well, anyway, he's like the most popular character just about in the show next to Mikasa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in the live action movie, he's not in it. Instead, they replace him with another character with a different name and everything.
You know, this brings up a really good point that we didn't discuss, and that's about spoilers, right? You know, like, I don't think anybody cares about Attack on Titan live action spoilers.
Okay,
but it is definitely something that we need to.
You know, it's actually interesting that you bring that up because I was thinking about spoilers and I was thinking the way that this would work. The way that this would work is if an episode had aired and we were talking. Okay, if we were talking about an anime version of something, and the episode had aired. I'm sorry, but we gotta be able to talk about it. It's spoilers. This isn't a spoiler-free zone. I don't think. If the episode's aired, we can talk about it. And if we're talking about like the manga or something, and that chapter has been officially released, then we can talk about it there, I think. I mean, okay, if we want to go as, because we don't, I mean, if we want to go as far as the three of us, like not spoiling anything for the three of us, I think that's fine. But if we talk about like not spoiling it for anybody, then we're not going to have much to talk about.
No, I agree. I think should be something that we mention too.
I also think another thing, as I mentioned that a long time ago, why I originally had the Cowboy Bebop ending spoiled for me by Adult Swim, and they did it in one of the bumps where they mentioned Spike dying. And I hadn't seen the last episode yet, and I remember the next night when they came back and they apologized for doing it, but then at the same time they said it's been fucking years already. Like there has to be a statute of limitations. So I think even if we're talking about statute of limitations on that, I think talking about King Bradley being kind of the main villain there, I think the time has passed on anybody having the opportunity to find that out for themselves.
No, and I definitely agree. I was just meaning, shows that we just aired.
If an episode just aired, we could talk about it. I guess maybe if it's like a major fucking thing. Like if it's a major fucking thing. Like you're finding out like fucking like someone's like been a woman the whole time or something, and then it's like you're like, oh, okay, maybe we can wait an extra week on this.
I agree with that. But things like, for instance, for My Hero Academia, right? Casting the crazy chick. I forget her name. You know who I'm talking about. You've read the manga.
You saw this week's episode?
Yeah.
So
something like that.
The girl at the end,
where
right?
She shows up at the end, yes.
Yeah, that girl is kind of important. She is kind of important.
Is it? Okay, so either her name is Hiro Shimono, or that's the voice actress's name. I don't remember.
Honestly,
but
I'm
like
really bad with certain names, especially since she's kind of important as far as the League of Villains, but ultimately I don't think even in the manga she shows up that much.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean stuff like that where we can mention, oh yeah, she showed up at the end. But for instance, mentioning, hey, King Bradley's the villain.
Yeah.
Maybe that one we take pause. Again, with, statute limitations and all that.
Yeah.
I didn't say villain, I said Hitler. He's the Fuhrer.
He is, in fact, called the Fuhrer, yes.
I mean, he is the villain, so that's kind of what we were going
Spoiler,
off
guys. Spoiler. The Fuhrer is the bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
Spoiler.
Oh, yeah. Well, either way.
And they didn't do a very good job of hiding that, did they?
Well, I think the more surprising thing was ultimately his son. But I mean, we're not here to talk about the anime and stuff. We're just talking about the movie, I guess. And either way, people will find out whether or not the movie's good or not on, I believe, we'll be hearing first real reviews on the movie premieres at the Tokyo International Film Festival on October 25th. That'll be the world premiere for the movie, and then it'll actually appear to the public in Japan on December 1st. Which means
dope, though.
Which means we'll get to watch it in May. So
really?
So we'll be able to talk about it in May at that point. But speaking of movie premieres, we have one coming in America pretty soon. I guess technically it's kind of a US premiere, I guess. Really, it's kind of weird because I'm talking about the Tokyo Ghoul live action movie. And that actually premiered at the Anime Expo. World premiere, I think. At the Anime Expo.
That's already premiered?
I think it premiered.
It's out there, people have seen it?
It premiered at Anime Expo, I think, the world premiere. Even before Japan got to see it, I think. Let's see. It says it premiered, the film premiered on July 3rd at Anime Expo, July 7th in Berlin, July 10th at some theater in Japan before it had a Japanese wide release on July 29th. So, but it'll be showing in American theaters from October 16th to October 22nd. I think it got pretty good reviews, I think. I honestly I haven't even watched the whole first season of Tokyo Ghoul. It's just one of those shows. It's not that it wasn't good. It's just one of those shows where I fell a couple episodes behind and then more episodes and then I just lost it. and just hadn't taken the time to go back yet. So I know it's a huge show. I'll probably go see the movie, but I haven't seen. I hear that a lot of people say the anime splits off from the manga anyway, but I don't know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't remember watching any of that.
You didn't-
So I know I've
wait.
seen like the first 2 episodes.
You didn't watch
but
Tokyo Ghoul either?
No,
Oh, I thought you definitely did.
no, I remember watching the first 2 episodes, and then I've completely forgotten.
Oh, I saw
Everything
most
about
of the
it.
first season, and I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. Like, it's not a show that I intentionally stopped watching. I didn't drop the show. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
even remember if I disliked it or I just lost interest or I
Not
moved on to
interested.
something else.
That's really what it sounds like, right? I mean, you're so interested in it that you forgot you even watched it.
I do remember. I do remember that the OP for that show, I thought was fantastic. I loved the OP for that show. But anyway, I think the movie got generally good reviews, and it says something. I've never heard of this before, so I don't know what it is. At least I don't think I have. I think one of the Dragon Ball movies got this. But it says in Japan, the movie is going to have 4DX screenings.
What's the X?
4DX. Like 4DX.
What's the X?
Dude, I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean,
Let's
I
look it
know
up
what
right now.
4D
Let's look it up right
but
now.
I don't
Let's
know
just-
what 40X
Let's look it up right now. Okay, here we go. 4DX is Wikipedia says 4DX is a motion picture technology owned and developed by a South Korean company. It allows motion picture presentation to be augmented with environmental effects such as seat motion, wind, rain, fog, lights, and scents, along with the standard video and audio.
Okay, so
4D.
correct me if I'm wrong. Tokyo Ghoul is about a zombie, right?
It's more like I'd say it is more of like a vampire kind of thing, but they're not really vampires. They're more like they don't really suck humans' blood. They eat people.
Like a zombie.
Yeah,
Infectious.
and you know the main character at the beginning, like he almost dies, but he almost dies because he gets like smashed by this piece of debris, but also smashes the zombie that's like attacking him. So then they both get taken to the hospital, and she's gonna die anyway. So she gets like her parts transplanted into him, like so he can be saved, and then like
Okay.
he becomes like half
Wow.
what they are because of that. And it's it's
Yeah,
really cool action show and everything. It's got a lot of, I think it's got a lot of cool stuff in it.
That's a. Let me know what hospital is that? The Japanese hospital? Because remind me not like at all.
What? That's the same thing they would do if you got into like an accident here. If someone was like if someone was an organ donor and they
not
were going to
unless you
die,
have
but
that
you could be
donor,
saved.
You got the donor thing.
Okay, but I'm saying if somebody
I mean,
was a
let's not-
donor.
Let's not think too hard about it, because I mean, you got to worry about the donor list and the reviews and all that. Let's not think too hard on that.
Yeah, but okay, well that's all we got for
So,
what?
But I guess my question is, what would they do for this 4DX? Like,
Well, I don't
what
know.
effects?
I mean, there's a lot of like action scenes and stuff, so I imagine it'd have something to do with that. I mean, it said it could do fog and wind and seat moving and stuff like that. I have no idea. I
That's
think
what
I
Brandon's
remember.
asking.
I think I remember a Dragon Ball movie getting this one time, but I mean, I don't know what the hell they would do. Like, I think I was at an amusement park one time, and they had some like less quite technologically advanced version of this, where they would blow like wind on your legs and stuff like that. But I don't really remember. Anyway, that's all the movie news I think we have for this week. A couple pieces of manga news, I guess, before we get on with our next part. One is, Magi, or whatever, Maggie, whatever it's called, I think it's Magi.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's going to end in only 4 more chapters.
How long has that been going on for?
I'm not sure. I think quite some time. And then it even has the spin-offs and stuff, like it has the Sinbad spin-off and everything. I know the anime had 2 seasons, and I remember the first season of the anime being quite a while ago anyway.
Yeah, I see them up on Netflix all the time.
Yeah. Netflix has the Sinbad one. I think the Sinbad spinoff is technically a Netflix original, or whatever. And
Yeah.
speaking of Netflix originals, I don't know how they're even calling this fucking anime. I don't like. Okay, I think anime has got to be it's got to be a Japanese thing for me. So yeah, I mean we all know that I don't say that Avatar is fucking anime or Boondocks or anything like that. We all know that. I will reluctantly say Afro Samurai is, but very reluctantly. But they got that new show that came out this week that's an anime. It's like Neo Yokai or something, and it stars Jaden fucking Smith. How terrible could that be? Like, how could that just be like the worst fucking thing of all time? Like, I refuse to watch it, and luckily the reviews for it are just fucking terrible.
I mean, I would want to see it before I make a judgment on that.
I
I don't hate
I'm
Jaden
gonna-
Smith nearly
I've
as
seen
much as you
I've
do.
seen Jaden Smith enough to judge Jaden Smith, I think, and I judge him very
I
poorly.
in fact like the Karate Kid remake.
I,
It wasn't as good as the
I've seen
original.
Jaden Smith. No, we're
I
good.
think one ways you can judge Jaden Smith is to like look at his fucking Twitter or something.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
That dude is fucking crazy.
Oh, he's great though. No, you know what? No, the opposite effect. I actually want to see it now because Jaden Smith's in it.
So I guess you feel like Jaden Smith the way that I feel about Shia LaBeouf, how I really enjoy his craziness.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, well shit, you get on Netflix, you watch yourself some Neo Yokai, you can come back, you can talk about it next week.
Wait, it's actually out now.
Oh yeah, it came out this week. It's a Netflix exclusive.
Wait, the spelling. I'm crap at. I'm shit at this. How
It
do you
should
do
be right on your okay, Neo Yokio.
it?
So Neo
Yoke. Oh wow, it's the first thing on YouTube. No, first one on Google. Except what in the hell?
Neo, one of the first things I see. One of the first things I see.
What?
Is Neo
What?
Yokio's camp is hard to enjoy through the transphobia. That's one of the first things I see.
The transphobia.
No, all I type in is Neo Yokio, like on Google. I didn't type in anything, and I see. Wait, what is that? What? What's that dude's name from Sailor Moon? He's in this.
What dude from Sailor Moon?
There's only
Tuxedo
one
Mask?
dude that matters. In
Tuxedo.
Sailor Moon.
Why would Tuxedo Mask? What do you mean? Like an actor?
Oh, like the okay, I guess.
Okay,
in the
I
anime
don't
it
think
shows-
Tuxedo Mask is making. I don't think he shows up in this anime.
He lost the tuxedo, but he still has the hat and the glasses and everything. It took me a second to go like, wait, is this some kind of like parody or something?
Okay, I don't think that's happening. And then the only, well, anyway, so you can watch that. You can come talk about it next week, whatever. I will not personally be watching it. That goes on the permanent ban list for me, just like the fucking Death Note movie. Never gonna watch
Speaking of the Death Note movie, I'm actually planning on watching that tonight or tomorrow.
it. Okay, well,
So-
hey, you can talk about that next week. I'll take my
I
headphones
plan on
off. It'll be a good time.
I plan on it.
I'll take the headphones off to mask myself from your praise, and we can just.
It might be a good
move
movie.
on.
Who knows? I mean, the people who've seen it would probably know, but
Oh yeah. I'm sure the people that have seen it know, and I think we've heard what they generally think of it.
Wait. Huh?
Look, you can't. I'm sorry, you can't fit a 39 fucking episode anime into, or however many chapter manga into a 2-hour movie. Anyway, and then I mean the main actor, the star of it, I can't stand his fucking face. But anyway, the only other, then back to the news, I guess. I mean, you'll talk about the Death Note movie next week. Mugga will talk about Neo Yokio and the Jaden
I'm trying to
Smith
find it.
philosophy that pops up in the show, I guess. If it does. But also, we're talking about Academia earlier. There's an Academia spin-off called Smash. that's going to end in November. It was announced this week with its fifth volume. I actually looked for that to try to read it and in preparation for us doing the show so I could talk about it a little bit. But there's like 50 something chapters of it out right now, but I could only find 14 of them translated. And it was weird because it was like the first 12 were translated, and then there was chapter 53 and chapter 54 were translated. So there's like a huge gap in there where it's not translated. But what I can say is that what I did read looked pretty funny. It's a 4-panel manga. So it's just like little 4-panel stories, like little comic strips with kind of a comedy kind of vibe, kind of like if you ever saw Rock Lee and his Ninja Pals. Something like that, just real like little funny stories. So I'm hoping maybe we can get more translated like that, because more academia is never really a bad thing. And I guess, I mean, we looked up a couple other stuff, but we've been talking about this for a little while, so we can move on. And there's no other major news things that I saw this week, unless something came out this morning or something that I missed.
I do have something I would like to bring up.
Okay.
So you guys know about the life-sized Gundam in Japan, right?
Yeah.
The actual old one from the original show, right? The RX-78. They've updated it to the Gundam Unicorn.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I think I heard they were tearing it down and replacing it or something like that.
Yeah, and if you've seen it, I mean, it transforms and everything. It looks pretty awesome. But while they were introducing it, or revealing the statue, excuse me, they announced that they're going to have a new Gundam Unicorn project coming out sometime in spring, or they're going to unveil it in spring. So that was something that I found personally interesting.
Yeah. No, that does sound pretty cool. I mean, if I were ever to go to Japan, I definitely want to go see the life-size Gundams and everything as part of the tour, for sure. Also, that actually reminds me, too, since you were talking about Gundam, is one of the news this week was that Gundam, I think it was Thunderbolt or whatever, whichever one was like the movies, is getting like a manga version.
Yes. Yeah, I only ever saw it on YouTube. It's like an hour or 2 hour short. I guess that wouldn't be short. I guess it would be a movie at that point.
Yeah. And to answer your question there, Muggle, Unicorn is it takes place in the main timeline, right?
Yes.
Takes place in the main timeline somewhere. I don't know really the time period, but I do know that it's the main UC, I guess he's saying. It is part of that main like timeline. It was released as an OVA, so it's like is it like 7? Is it 7 episodes or
I think it might be 6.
So it's like 6 like hour long things that were released like over like a 3-year period.
Pretty sure they released it on Crunchyroll as half-hour episodes too.
Yeah, it did get released on there in half-hour format.
And as you guys know, I'm a huge Gundam fan. So it takes 16 years after the events of the very first story, the 1 year war.
Yeah, I knew I was going to eventually talk about you and your love of Gundam and me and Jump, for instance. So when we were doing like top lists and stuff, I was going to later, like in another episode, I was going to talk about us putting rules kind of on our top lists regarding Gundam and Jump, so that we can have a little bit more fun with it. So we could just say, like, for instance, like if there's like a Jump, like if I'm doing like my favorite news show of the year or something, we could just assume that I fucking love all the Jump ones and I think they're amazing, and I can just pick something other than them while those still being fucking awesome and they being known. So I could have more fun with it, and then it'd be a nice little rule there so that we wouldn't be so limited. Because otherwise, when the end of the year comes, I'm going to be like Soma, Academia, Black Clover. Like, I'm not going to be able to talk about it. I'm not going to be allowed to talk about anything else almost. So,
I mean, I don't see why we'd want to limit that, though, because to you, those are going to be your favorite shows.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's kind of a bias thing. I think we could just...
We're going to be biased regardless, though, because I mean, it's all about
Okay.
opinion.
Well, I might still do an others thing and just be like, okay, these things are fucking awesome, but I like Restaurant at the End of the World or something is one of the favorites, like
Yes.
something like that. Which the last episode was, which we'll talk about next week. But my God, it made me want more. Um, but anyway, so that'll be the end for the news, I guess, and we'll get into kind of the main thing of the episode, which is series that are going to be starting within the next 2 or 3 weeks. I think October 3rd is kind of near one of the first days of the new season. So we were going to go through some of those and talk about ones that we were kind of excited about or thinking about watching. I know that Brandon, for instance, he has a rule where he only watches like 2 series at once or something.
Let's leave that out.
So I just mean like, so like necessarily like you won't be like necessarily planning on watching all these and talking about them on an episode by episode basis, but that doesn't mean, you know, you won't eventually get to them and be able to talk about them before the season's over. I mean, that's all. And I mean, that's no reason to leave it out. I mean, Muggle's probably going to watch like one of them, if any. So, I mean,
Yo.
No, because that role doesn't. That role, I don't even be that honest.
Also,
and it's not exactly that either.
Also, I think this season you'd have a really hard time following that rule anyway.
I've had a hard time the last 3 seasons. I mean,
Because this season, I think, is pretty fucking stacked.
yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, not this current season, but the season before it. I mean, you had Berserk, Hero Academia, and there was that other big Attack on Titan. You know?
And then I think when the first Berserk return season came out, I think Soma season 2 was during that also. I think last year, I think Soma season 2 was on during that. I think. But anyway,
I don't recall.
So shows we're going to talk about, I guess we'll just start here at what I have at the top of my little notepad list here. And after talking about how stacked the season is, I'll talk about a show that I never finished the first season of. But it's pretty hyped show and everything, and I'll probably make sure I finish the first season so I can watch season 2. Even though I hear the first season does not follow the manga hardly at all, and season 2 is going to actually get on track and follow the manga right. So maybe there's no reason to finish the first season, I don't know. But that's Blood Blockade Battlefront, season 2. I'm going to say, I was pretty excited about the preview for that, though. Because even though I don't really know what was happening in the preview, it looked really, like, it was really action-packed. And it was, like, real nice-looking action. That trailer.
Yeah, from what I remember from the first season is it had some great action scenes. It was kind of out there, too.
Well, yeah, with the premise of the show kind of has that kind of random craziness,
Yes.
even. So I do like that about it. And I remember I liked the design of the characters a lot. I also really loved the song in this preview for season 2. So if that turns out to be like the OP or the ending or something, that'll be pretty good. Also, I guess the premise of the show too, I guess if nobody's ever seen it, is that New York gets destroyed by something. I don't remember what, something supernatural, and then overnight it kind of gets rebuilt. And now all these new extra dimensional like creatures and all the people that are there, they're kind of trapped inside New York now from this like supernatural bubble.
Okay.
And then like
Yes.
the bad guys are kind of trying to break out of the bubble and release all the stuff, something like that. And then the good guys, their main thing is kind of trying to stop that from happening.
From what I remember is that you could travel between the two worlds just by going through like the gate.
Okay, but it's like real like watched or like security, like border.
I think so. I mean, like I said, I barely remember a year ago.
Yeah.
I do remember enjoying it, and I remember really liking the character designs, especially of the main character who, at first glance looks like your standard, anime MC, you know.
Yeah.
But his kind of superpower that he has is he has like God's eye or something along those lines, where he can see anything or see through everything, right?
Mhm.
And when they do that, I think that just really pushes him above.
Yeah.
I do enjoy.
I liked the look of the. I mean, I don't like I said, I didn't finish the first season, so I don't really remember the names of the characters on the show. But I really liked the design of the the like the bartender suit looking dude, with the vest and the tie.
Klaus
Like
von
like
Reinzer,
kind of like
Reinhardt.
the second most important character on the show or something. I think. Like I really liked his look a lot.
He has like the fangs, right?
Yeah.
He kind of looks almost like a gorilla, I think.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, Klaus von Reinhardt. Something along those lines.
Okay. And now, I guess on to a show that I am super excited about, and it would be on a contender for easily to be on my top 5 list of all time. And we're talking about, and I'm not calling it its fucking stupid ass fucking name they gave it when they brought it over here, because that's fucking stupid. So it's Shokugeki no Soma Season 3. That's right. Now, it's hard for me to really talk about what I'm excited about in the show because it's one of the manga I follow for sure. I mean, I know exactly what's going to happen. I already know it's going to be a great season. I know the characters are going to be introduced. I know the plot lines. I'm very excited about the Council of 10 coming in. Rindo's going to be coming in. I love that. It's going to be the kickoff for like the most major arc in the whole fucking series so far. Fucking waifu arena is all over that shit. It's gonna be so great.
I'm also excited for it. I'm a huge fan.
Wait, what is it about again?
Oh, it's fucking fantastic.
It's
You've never watched
its
it?
English name is Food
Okay.
Wars. If that gives you any hint.
Oh,
It's a fantastic show, Cheng. If you've never watched it,
what's wrong with the name Food War?
it doesn't sound cool, man.
It's war with food.
I'm against that
So,
name, my man. But anyway, so have you watched the show then, Muggle?
No.
You watched it? Oh,
No,
you should.
no, I've heard things about it.
You should. You should. I mean, come on. Almost every show that I tell you to watch turns out to be fantastic, and this is one of my favorites. Like okay, like every week in Jump, One Piece is obviously the favorite, but then this for me is number 2. Every week, I fucking love it.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's fucking, and the art in it. My God, I love that style. It's fantastic. It's kind of like well, one of the things that Jump likes to do is like they take like different things, and even if it's not necessarily like a battle manga, they can turn it into something that is like a fun battle manga. So like with Kuroko's basketball and with Haikyuu and stuff, they turn basketball and volleyball into stuff that's like a really cool battle manga. And I mean, I'll probably talk about those shows a lot on here eventually. They've heard me talk about it. I fucking think they're amazing. But Shokugeki no Soma is a show where they turn like cooking competitions into like a battle manga type thing. And like all the characters are great, all the designs are great. You would love it.
I genuinely think you would enjoy it too.
Yeah,
The
Food
main
Wars,
character, Soma, he's the unique blend of arrogant, but you actually get to see him have to work for it, and then you see why he's so arrogant. It's because his father's this master chef, and his father's never gone easy on him in these food wars that they have between the two.
And waifus, which by the way, that's one of the only anime lingo words I'm okay with. And arena is one of my favorites. So, and let's just stay right on that Jump train. And talk about the next show, which is a new Jump show premiering, which is Black Clover, which is a show that's been in the manga in the magazine. Manga's been in the magazine for a couple years now, just about. I remember when it came out in the usual set of 4 or 5 that came out, and like only one of them's going to survive. And then the English version of Jump was only going to pick up one of them, and they put on the voting cards. And I loved the first chapter for Black Clover so much. It was one of the best first chapters I think I'd read in a long time. Like, for me, the first chapter of Black Clover was on like Naruto first episode level quality for me. And the Naruto first episode to me is just, I fucking love it. It's fantastic. It's one of my favorite first episodes to anything. So that was one that I always rooted for and hoped that got picked up. And then luckily it did. And I mean, it's, for me, like it starts off really awesome. And that's like the first season's going to be covering the beginning, which is pretty awesome. So the first season should be great. The series as a whole, I think, has dips in quality where it goes down and then it goes back up to being really good. It's not super consistent, but it's still pretty cool, and a lot of the characters are pretty cool. I'm a little disappointed that Asta, the main character, especially his face, they make it look a little bit off from the manga. But generally, I'm pretty psyched about it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this one, but from what I've heard from you, I'm pretty excited about it too.
Well, it's about like a world of wizards and everything, and then the top wizard is like the Wizard King. So the main character's aspiration, of course, is to become the Wizard King. And he lives in an orphanage, and he's never had any magic develop. And it's like everybody by a certain age is supposed to have their magic develop, but he never had his, so has completely no magic. And when he goes to a test, they go to this test when they're at a certain age, like it's like a tryout to get like a thing that's called like a grimoire, which is like kind of like a magic book that everybody gets, and your like magic ability gets read. And he ends up getting his magic doesn't end up getting awakened, but he gets like a sword that's like an anti-magic sword. So now he can cancel out everybody's spells with his sword. And his is really more about like physical combat, because he's, made up for not having magic by being really fit and everything over the years. So he ends up joining a group of magic people. I'm not explaining it that well, but he joins a magic group called the Black Bulls, and it's all about like their kind of adventures and everything as he kind of tries to rise through the ranks. I don't know. It should be really action-packed. It should be pretty cool to see the battles animated.
I get a very fairy tale vibe from it. And I don't think it's going to be anything like that, but that's just the vibe I'm getting.
I don't think the story is anything like fairy tale, but when I first read it, I was thinking like, oh, well, this is going to be Jump's chance like to have their own fairy tale. Like, not the same story, but something that would kind of have the same magic feel to it. But no, I love fairy tale, and this is nowhere near that level. But and then I guess after that, we're kind of off Jump for now anyway. I don't know if there's any Jump ones popping up later. I don't think there are. But we'll be talking... this is one we can't really talk that much about, because I don't think any of us have seen it. Any of the OVAs leading up to it, or read the manga or anything. But it's the Ancient Magus Bride, which is published in a monthly magazine, I guess, called Monthly Comic Garden in Japan, and it's about a girl, I guess, named I'm just reading the synopsis that I either got from My Anime List or Funimation or somewhere, just so we could talk a little bit about what these series are about. So Ancient Magus Bride is about a girl named Hattori Chise, and My Anime List synopsis says, Hattori Chise is only 16, but she has lost far more than most. With neither family nor hope, it seems all doors are closed to her. But a chance encounter begins to turn the rusted wheels of fate. In her darkest hour, a mysterious magus appears before Chitose, offering a chance she couldn't turn down. This magus, who seems closer to demon than human, will bring her the light she desperately seeks, or drown... Will he bring the light she desperately seeks, or drown her in even deeper shadows? Now, I know the characters look really cool from this. I like how the main character looks, and this demon looking like the magus, I suppose. I like how he looks, and I know there's a lot of hype around this series. I think it'll probably be pretty good.
What's the name of his show again? Like, can you
The
link it?
Ancient Magus Bride. If you look on the Discord, Jing, I put this on here for us so that we would have references to look at, like visual aids and stuff. So if you look at the bottom of our Discord right now, on the D&D section, I've got posters for a lot of the shows we're going to be talking about. If you scroll right up, and then if you go up higher, there's actual previews for a lot of the shows. Like, if we would have told you about this earlier, you would have had more time to prep and stuff. And certainly in future weeks, you'll have more time. But if you look up, well, I actually have one of the posters down on the bottom of the Discord, if you want to look at it.
I'm
But-
against that. I want to put that out there. I'm against that. I think we shouldn't tell him anything until like 30 minutes before.
Actually, I had a fun idea today that we didn't end up using. Because
I was all for the idea when we were originally talking about this. We weren't even going to tell you we were recording.
Yeah,
we were just going to have you come in here and
Well, we were going to do that, but I thought that was going to be too much of a hassle. And like, it might cause problems with the show. But I mean, it was a funny ass idea. But no, the idea that I had today was we were going to show before we talked about each show. I thought about showing Jing the poster for it, Muggle the poster for it. I mean, and then he would have to just guess what the show is about from the poster, and then
Yeah, except I speak a moderate amount of. Well, I speak Chinese, and at which point the Japanese Chinese characters on there will give me some amount of hints. And this thing looks.
Nah, you would just know the title. That wouldn't be enough. But anyway, the show was
well, how would we know? We can't read Japanese.
well because we know what the title says, and that's what the characters say.
Maybe it has the whole synopsis on it.
It even says like, "Listen, man, if your friends are asking you what this is about." But,
Yes.
No, the shit was released in like they had like 3 like little movies, like OVAs were released over like the last year or something leading up to this, but we didn't watch either of them. And Crunchyroll actually showed them all compiled together in theaters recently. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna watch it, but we just can't talk about that one that much, I guess. And then, but now we're going to talk about a show that none of us know how to pronounce, but at least 2 of us are going to watch it. One is particularly excited about it for possibly shady reasons. We're not sure, but that's the German one.
I think you were pretty close the other day when you were saying Dice
Irae or whatever the fuck. I have on my notes here just one of Brandon's other screen names, just so I can remember to mention him. I think I mean, a lot of real heavy fans of this show. A lot of people really love it. I mean, apparently the only reason it's being made is because it was 100% crowdfunded, I hear. So people must really like it a lot. I'm not 100% on it, because usually, like, when I see the guys that I'm guessing are the bad guys, I think they have really cool looking designs and it makes me a little excited. But then whenever I'm watching like a preview or seeing a poster and I see like the good guys for the show, I don't know, it's like something's missing from that. I don't think they look as good. I don't know. I'm not 100% on this one, on whether it'll be good or not. I'm not sure.
Wait, what German one? I'm looking at this fall anime list, and I guess I'm not further. I'm not down.
Dice
But
area. It's the second row middle
Hold
one.
on. I gotcha.
second row.
I got you
Yeah.
on Discord here, Jing. I gotcha. I don't know why I did that. That's not what you were supposed to see. That was my bad.
Oh.
I ended up sending you the fucking Family Guy thing again.
Oh my.
I ended up sending you the dick pic. Okay.
So the reason I'm mostly excited for it. Like you said, I have no idea what it's about. I don't know anything about it, but I do like the World War II aesthetic. Right? I like military uniforms. I like the whole look of it, and that's the vibe I'm getting from this.
That's certainly one way to say it. But anyway, since we said you didn't know what it was about, I can partially cover that with my synopsis taken from one of the websites. On May 1st, 1945, in Berlin, as the Red Army raises a Soviet flag over the Reichskanzlei, whatever, a group of Nazi officers conduct a ritual. For them, the slaughter in the city is nothing but the perfect ritual sacrifice in order to bring back the Order of the 13 Lances, a group of supermen whose coming would bring the world's destruction. Years later, no one knows if this group of officers succeeded, or whether they lived or died. Few know of their existence, and even those who knew began to pass away as the decades passed. Now, in December, in the present day of Suwahara City, Ren Fuji spends his days at the hospital. It has been 2 months since the incident that brought him to the hospital, a fight with his friend Shiro Yusa, where they almost tried to kill each other. He tries to value what he has left to him, but every night he sees the same dream. A guillotine, murderers who hunt people, and the black clothed knights who pursue the murderers. He is desperate to return to his normal everyday life, but even now he hears Shiro's words. Everyone who remains in the city eventually loses their minds. But I agree with you. I really like the design of the characters and the uniforms and everything. I like the little crazy dude in the front of the poster. That dude is rocking. I'm psyched about that. So I got some others to go through here. I know we've gone over the time that we tried to set, but that's even fantastic. I don't even care that we went over at all.
Oh, yeah.
And then a couple other ones to talk about. Another one that I don't really know that much about, but I know is hyped, looks really good, everybody loves it, is Kino's Journey. That's going to air on Funimation. I'm not surprised they grabbed that up really quick. I think it looks like a real cool road trippy adventure show. I think that has kind of a World War I kind of look to it, with the way the motorcycle is and his general outfit and the pistol and everything.
That's the one where the tagline's "The Beautiful World," right?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
And I think it's a remake also. I think it had a series a long time ago.
Yeah, that looks very interesting too. Again, I don't know much going into it, but just from the poster.
The series follows the existential adventures of the apt markswoman Kino, along with her talking motorcycle Hermes, as they travel the world and learn much about themselves in the process. I don't know.
So, I mean, that could go one of two ways. That could be, a kind of nice, pleasant slice of life, or that could go, she's super crazy and is having a mental breakdown and everything's really bleak.
Honestly, from the preview, it looks kind of calm and relaxing, but at the same time, some cool action going on. So after that, we have a show called, I guess, Juni Tyson Zodiac War, which I don't know if it'll be good or not. The story seems really thin on that one. In fact, all I have on it is, for one wish, they'll risk it all. The time has come for the 12 tournament held every 12 years. For 12 proud warriors, each bearing a name from the Chinese zodiac. They'll prepare to fight in a bloody battle royale. The victor gets any one wish they desire, but they'll have to do whatever it takes to earn it. Blood and tears will flow on this battlefield. Who will be the lone survivor? Now, I know the story's kind of thin and everything, but what gets me for it is the character design. I'm really, especially during the preview, they all look really cool. If you're looking at the poster, I especially love the little short old man and his Chinese-looking hat with the grenade. That is some badass shit. That is some badass shit. And he looks really cool in the preview. This show could have really cool looking action scenes with cool character designs. It could be really cool, or it could be boring as shit. And the fight scenes could be boring, and I could wonder why the hell I'm still watching it after 3 episodes. I have no idea.
Yeah, it would definitely have to rely on the fight scene to carry this, because.
But it could be really cool.
Well, with the animation, it doesn't.
Yeah, if you look at the preview is actually
I'm
quite
looking
nice.
at the preview right now.
Yeah, the preview is actually quite nice. It looks like it's got a real cool style to it and everything, and
Nope, the fight scene's gonna be cool.
Yeah, it
It's
looks
not,
pretty badass. Does the preview?
no,
It
like
looks pretty
yeah,
badass.
like yeah. They showed like slow mo with like different actions. The way it's not bad. Yeah.
Uh,
With I mean, the only downfall it could possibly be is the fact that it's just ripping off the what's it called? The what do you call it?
The
Fate.
Fate
Yeah, it's Fate.
series.
Yeah.
That was what I was thinking too, but I didn't want
Yeah,
to say
one
that
wish, but
because I've never watched any of the Fate series.
this looks like it's a lot more contained than the Fate series, though, into like something that's just going to be like a long, like cool, like 13 episode fight or something. Like,
yeah, but I'm just saying is that like spoiler, I'm calling it right now. You're not gonna get your wish. You're not. It's just a trick. It's just a lie. It's a trick. You're not gonna get anything out of it. I'm calling it right now. It's just too obvious. No, you just know. Wait, episode 22. Okay, will be September. Oh, so it's
Now,
actually out.
is that a huge part of Chinese mythology, where you get a wish or you earn a wish, and then it turns out that the wish is like a backhand slap. It's
No, that's just something that Facebook do with the corrupt a wish kind of thing. But no, this is more of a it's just a trope of saying like fight for something, and then at the end, no one's gonna get that thing because it's all a lie to get you guys to kill each other.
fucking, he's Chinese, so he just doesn't want to let out the secret that if we go win a tournament in China, we can have any wish we want. He doesn't want to let the secret out.
Oh.
I mean, you have to win the tournament, and I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't know if I can get any wish I want. I might start fucking training right now, like every second of the day.
Yeah, except you're too late because every Chinese has been training before they were born, ever since they're in the womb. So you're way late.
Okay. Well, I guess
Yeah,
that's.
you're behind. You're behind.
Okay. Well, anyway, on to the next show, I guess. This one, I don't know. I listed this one to talk about at first just because I thought it, from the poster, I liked it, but it was the Urahara, and it had that kind of cute kind of look to me, and then even in the description mentions how it's like a Harajuku kind of look they're going for, and it really does fit that. And I really like the poster, but then I watched the preview for it, and I was like, I don't know. It's gonna, it could end up being funny, and I could like it, but I don't know. The preview was weak for me, and I don't know. So we'll just move on from that one. Maybe I'll come back in a few weeks after watching it and be like, it was fucking amazing. But I don't know. Then on my list, I've got a recovery of an MMO junkie, which unfortunately the preview was really short for. I thought there was some funny parts in it, though. Like, I really loved the part in the preview with the girl, the main character there, and her hug pillow. That couple seconds I thought was pretty hilarious. I don't know, I liked it. Not hilarious, but I don't know, I was digging it.
Wait, can you link it? I can't find it on this list that you like this.
And I know, because it was actually kind of weird. Like, I didn't see it on lists, but then like Funimation had it on their simulcast list for what they're gonna have this season. Well, I don't know. The description of it is 30-year-old Moriko is single. The girl, 30-year-old Moriko, is single and recently became a NEET after quitting her corporate job. Tired of the real world, she decides to reinvent herself as a handsome male character on the internet in like an MMO game. So, I don't know, the preview, it looks like one of those series that has a lot of room to be funny.
I'm smelling the cringe.
I think I put the poster up. The poster is on the Discord, but it's just the poster.
Yeah.
So if you see the poster, it's got the girl and the guy standing there back to back. Pink-haired girl on the top, blue-haired dude on the bottom, and the blue-haired dude on the bottom is the girl's character in the game.
Oh, okay. Now I see it.
Tagline is recommendation of the wonderful virtual life. So, there's that. So I don't know, that could be funny, and definitely a lot of shows about MMOs are pretty cool, so I could generally like that. I guess not all of them are. I mean, I didn't really like the Phantasy Star Online 2 anime. I didn't think that one was very good. But generally, yeah, but it's not about the actual. It's a game in the thing, and like they don't like go inside the game or anything.
What?
Like it's about people playing the game.
Oh God. Well, all right.
Kind of
all
like
right,
how they
well,
have that. Kind of like how they have that show on Netflix right now. I didn't watch it, but it's called Dad of Light, and it's about like a dad and his son like connecting over playing Final Fantasy 15 or something and bonding.
Is it a Daddy of Light?
I've just seen Dad of
Yeah.
Light.
Yeah, I remember seeing that thumbnail and just noping out of that.
And then I guess we don't really much to talk about with that show, I guess, but it looks pretty good. Like I said, it looks kind of funny. I read the description that it gave me. There's not a lot of information out about that. I even tried to look on Wikipedia. I just couldn't find much. But now we move on to a show that we're definitely going to watch. Like, shit, I think by the name alone, Muggle might even watch this one. The Japanese name is, let me see if I get this right. The Japanese name is Boku no Kanojo ga Majime Sugiru Shoujo Bitch Naken. And I guess the English translation of that is My Girlfriend is a Virgin Bitch, I think, is the name that I've seen on the internet. Or is it Obedient Virgin Bitch, or is it just Virgin Bitch?
You can't
What
be
I saw-
obedient and a bitch at the same time. That's not how that works at all.
What I've read, the English is called "My Girlfriend is a Show Bitch."
Okay.
So
I thought I
either
heard
way,
that.
they're playing up the bitch.
Anyway, that's also a manga, and that's an online manga, I guess, from an online magazine called Nico Nico Sega. And it's really hard for me to think that there's any chance that we're not going to like this one. And not just because of the name. I think just from looking at the pictures and the preview, it really looks like a style show, one of the styles that we're really going to like. However, from watching the preview, I have a feeling that Brandon, he's going to get a little cringy at the end of the preview there.
I'm gonna get cringy,
I
or I'm
think-
gonna cringe.
I think you, at the end of the show, you're going to think like, oh, this looks like something I might like. And then I think the end of the preview is kind of a negative for you because the end of the preview, there's a shining light involved, let's just say. And it's the girl, she's like looking into the camera and the camera's zooming in like on her crotch and she's like lifting her skirt like to show it. There's like this shining light. And it makes me just think of some centaur things, and you just, I don't know. But the synopsis for the show, I guess, is after Shinozaki Haruka confesses to the class rep, Kosaka Akiho, he comes to find that the perfect class representative might be a little bit harder to handle than he previously thought. And that's the only description the website gave me. So I wish I had more on that. But I'm sure it's going to be good. I'm sure after we watch the first episode, we're going to have a lot more to talk about with that one.
I'm definitely worried this is gonna go into. It's gonna go into the my first girlfriend was a gal territory. With some of the things. That or it's gonna go into like Euro manga sensei or. So yes, I'm cautiously interested in this one.
Wait, that the poster for it is, let's see, 7 girls all bending over in suggestive position in their own personality trait feeding, and it shows a guy holding a peeled banana towards them.
In one of the manga covers, the main character girl has like a banana sticking up in the manga, and she's like about to put her finger on the banana.
No.
I don't know. I think we're gonna like it.
I have high hopes that it's going to be a really good comedy.
Mm-hmm. Then the next show is a manga from Gentosha's Seinen manga magazine, and it is called Konohana Kitan. Now, this show looks like it was almost like custom made for me from the first shot on the preview. I mean, it's one of those style shows that I like. I mean, I like a lot of style shows. I like just about everything. But this looks like it's one of those shows that fits the real cuteness genre that I like a lot. Is set in the village inhabited by yokai Konohana Tekitan presents the lives of several Fox Mononoke working in a hot spring inn. The story revolves around a new employee, Yuzu. Yuzu has always been living in the mountains, but now she has to adjust to the new life working in the high-class inn. She's oblivious and clumsy at first. With her simple cuteness, she's able to get along with all the other foxes. And the picture for this is like diabetes inducing. It is very nice. The first picture for the preview, like the very first shot you see with the little fox girl close up. I love it. But that's just for me. I just wanted to mention that one because like I'll be checking that one out, and that one's definitely for me.
I'm sure I'll watch the first episode
And then
decide from there.
And then we have another sequel for a first season that I fucking loved. It would have been oh my god, it would have been my favorite comedy that year if Osumatsu-san hadn't come out, because I think it was the same year Osumatsu-san was, and that's Hozuki no Reitetsu Season 2, which is fantastic. It's like a workplace comedy set in the Japanese hell. It is... Every episode of that was funny. Like, there was not a single episode of that show that I didn't just love. It was so good, the first season. I didn't think any comedy show could beat it that season. I mean, unfortunately for that show, Osumatsu came out, and that's just fucking too bad for this show. But it was a very close second. It's very hilarious. It's hard to talk about the premise because it doesn't really have kind of a set single story. It's more just the random kind of funny situations that the kind of second in command of Japanese hell gets himself involved in throughout the workday, like little work things that he has to deal with different employees and stuff throughout hell. It's quite nice. I wrote a review one time for it, for this little anime newsletter thing for this club I was in, and just talked about how much I loved it, and it was great, and I can't wait for season 2.
Now that's actually one that you had suggested to me, the first season, and it's on my queue. I will eventually watch it.
And the opening and endings are fantastic, especially the endings to both of them. There's this stuff with this like little funny fish that keep popping up throughout the show, and they'd always do a lot of good stuff with them, and the ending is fantastic. And I like the ending in the first season because the ending kind of like evolves sometimes with stuff that happens during the show, and it really affects the ending in the last episode, and it's good stuff. So that's fantastic. And since we talked about it, the only comedy show that I think beats it that same year, we get Osumatsu-san season 2 next season also, and that's probably, as far as like, I mean, Soma's coming back, and I'm most hyped about Soma certainly, but after Soma, when we're talking about returns of shows, I couldn't be excited for any show coming more than Osumatsu-san season 2. Every episode of that was so fucking hilarious, so fucking relatable. Like, everything of that was relatable, and my god, that show was amazing. All the different twins are such fantastic, especially as the show went on and you actually got to the point where you could okay, Osumatsu-san's basically about, like a bunch of twins, basically. There's 7 of them. I think there's 7. There might be 8, but I think there's 7. I don't know. But either way, they're all amazing, and if you got to the point where you could even recognize them and get all their different shtick and recognize everyone separately, and it just got funnier and funnier. And if you're generally an anime fan and you can't relate to those brothers, at least one of those brothers, I don't know who you are. Because, oh my god, it's great. I can't wait. I think both of you should watch that show. It's fucking great.
I've seen the first episode.
We've talked about this before, and the first episode is not the show. The first episode is not the show. That's just
I've seen the first episode, and then recently I saw the Jigsaw, or I'm sorry, not Jigsaw. Yeah, the Saw parody that they had, where it's I guess Jigsaw, or a cheap knockoff of him, and he's trying to kill one of the brothers, And I couldn't tell you anything about the brother or why he wants to kill him, but he's dead set on killing one of the brothers and keeps getting them mixed up. And just going over and over.
It's just so much random hijinks
Yeah,
on the show.
where is this?
And they got a lot of really funny nicknames for each other. Like there's kind of like sexual humor in there. Like one of the brothers' nicknames. There's one of the brothers who commonly gets called by the other brother Fappy Matsu. And stuff like that, and it's just, my God, it's funny. I can't.
If I'm not mistaken, you can find it on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, you can.
The first season.
Yeah. You can't watch the first episode there though. The first episode's not the show though. The first episode's just like it's like the characters coming back after like 30, 40 years, like a lot of years. And they're like, like we got to try to get, and it's just like a joke kind of parody episode where it's like we got to get with the modern times and everything. So what should our show be in these modern times? So it's a parody of a lot of current anime of them trying to be like, should we be a show that's kind of like these or something? And then that's just what the first episode is. Then in the second episode, which is the first one you're allowed to watch legally, is when the show actually starts, and it is what it is, and you see the brothers getting all their situations and stuff, and it's quite good. Like, I'll almost be sitting at my computer just watching the countdown for the episode release. I'm very excited. Also, during halfway through season 1, they even did this kind of clip show, where it was a clip show, and they had, but as they did the clip show, they had the voice actors from the show on there, and they were like narrating the clip show and commenting on behind the scenes and making the show and everything. And even the clip show in that was really good and funny because of that kind of cool thing that they did. So yeah, definitely you guys should watch that. But after that, we've got UQ Holder, Maho Sensei Nagima, which I own most of the manga for, but have not read that much of. Ironically, even though I own most of it. But it definitely looks good. It looks good. I know Nagima was around for a long time, was really popular. This has been around for a long time, really popular. I know it doesn't have much of a connection to Nagima, so you don't need to have seen Nagima to watch it. I just think that one of the girls from Nagima is in it, but it's like so many years later that like doesn't matter. So I don't think you need Nagima as a prerequisite to watch it. It says actually in the description, it says this series is set in the year 2086, several decades after the events of Nagima. Magister Negi Magi, and 10 years after magic is revealed to the world. Tota Kanoe is a young boy who is mortally wounded by a bounty hunter, coming after his guardian Yukihime's life, who reveals herself as a vampire and saves him by transforming Tota into one of her kind. Tota discovers then that Yukihime is none other than the legendary vampire and magician Evangeline, aka Megdal, and joins her covenant of immortal beings, a secret society known as UQ Holder. So even in the description, it talks about how it's several decades after Nagima.
I did start to read the manga, and it was pretty good. I'll be looking forward to this. I'll probably need to see the first season, though, before I watch this.
What do you mean? Like
Isn't
Nagima?
this the
You'll
second
probably
season?
watch Nagima?
Oh,
No, UQ Holder is starting now.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, yeah.
I think the reason the
be watching
2's
it.
next to a name, like it says like, Nagima 2, is because I think it's just because it's, sequel to Nagima. So I think that's why it says that.
Okay. Oh, well, yeah. If that's the case, then I'll probably start watching it as it airs.
And then 2 more shows I think we'll have to talk about, because we're kind of running out of time here, and we didn't really prepare for a couple of the shows. But one of the last 2 shows that I think we're going to talk about is called Shoujo Shumatsu Ryoko, and it's a manga from the magazine Kurage Bunch. I liked everything about this preview. The description is, the series follows 2 girls, Yuri and Chito, as they navigate that was funny. As they navigate the ruins of civilization after an unknown apocalypse, and as they travel in their modified kitten crad, they seek food and supplies while surviving. And it looks like a really fucking cool show and everything. With the post-apocalyptic, the art style reminds me of, and the character look reminds me of like a Girls Who Owned Panzer kind of deal.
It looks depressing as fuck.
It looks depressing, but at the same time, it looks really cool and good. I get the vibe because they're alone in the snow and like a post-apocalyptic world and all that, but I don't know. It just looks like something I'm really gonna like.
Yeah, that poster of them in the foreground, and then, like, I don't know if it's city ruins or what it is in the background. That looks amazing. At first, I thought it was an aircraft carrier, like
Yeah,
but now that I've looked a little bit more at it, it looks more like a tower.
yeah. I
It
think
just,
it's just like abandoned buildings and stuff.
yeah,
And the building directly behind him on the left looks like a partially made building. But I think actually I couldn't find a poster for the show, so I think that's like volume 1 of the manga. I think pretty good.
uh,
And then I don't know the last show that we want to talk about. And Cheng, if you haven't seen the preview for it, you should watch it. In fact, you should both
Give me a link.
definitely watch it right now. No, if you scroll up in the Discord, if you go to the D&Z section, okay, and you scroll past the posters, right?
that's gonna be so
And then
confusing.
you see Matt. You see Matt's last post from 9/8/2017,
Yeah.
and then right up above that where it says DCC Superheroes,
Yeah.
click that. Just click it
Wait. Oh, super. Okay.
and watch it. Okay, the show is called DC Superheroes versus Taka no Sume Dawn, and the preview is fucking crazy. This show looks like it's gonna be fucking hilarious. In the same way that I think it was a show a couple seasons ago called PT. There was a show called PT, and looked like it was this kind of old style anime with kind of like a real random chaotic humor, and I fucking loved it. And this looks like it's gonna fit that kind of like style. It just looks like the whole thing's gonna be insane.
No,
Just-
while he's watching that, there was one I wanted to bring up, right?
go ahead.
That wasn't mentioned, that I'm looking forward to. But the problem with this is I have to watch the first season, and that's the March Comes In Like a Lion.
Oh yeah, I
So
didn't
the
watch
second
much.
season is coming out, and it was, from what I remember, very popular first season.
Yeah, I remember it was very popular, but I mean, you want to talk about depressing?
So I don't know much about it.
I heard that was incredibly depressing. That's not why I didn't
Uh,
watch it. I just didn't end up watching it. But
So I mean that's something that I'm interested in checking out.
well, that's cool. You can definitely be the little correspondent there on March Comes In Like a Lion season 2. I think I remember watching like the first episode, but I watch like almost every first episode, so like I don't end up watching the second episode of every single show. So it just didn't happen.
You're right. Yeah, I would agree to that, but realistically, I'll probably forget
Okay.
and then never watch it.
Okay.
But I wanted to mention that because it was incredibly popular.
Yeah, when it was incredibly popular. Yeah, everybody loved March Comes In Like a Lion. Okay, so you finished that preview right there, Jing? Your Muggle there. You finished
Yeah,
that preview.
didn't exactly say much other than they have animated versions of Batman and Superman, and then the dork.
And then the
dork
craziness
version
ensued.
of-
And then the craziness
Yeah,
ensued.
but it's, what?
With I think that's like in like a really old anime like company or something. Like it's probably like a lot of their old series, I think.
Right. So then, what are their enemies? Like I didn't
I,
see the
think,
other people.
I don't think it's gonna matter.
Like it didn't make any sense.
I think that's the point. I don't think it's gonna make any sense. I just think it's gonna be fucking okay. Let me talk about a show that this reminds me of. And I've mentioned it before, and I don't know if either of you have ever gone to watch it after I've talked about it every time. But have either of you seen Inferno Cop?
Yeah, I've watched parts of it.
This reminds
I
me of
mean,
Inferno Cop.
you know my feelings about Trigger.
Yeah, yeah. Inferno Cop is a Trigger show. It's really short. It's just got like 3 minute episodes, and it's really low budget, and it's just insane, chaotic humor that makes no sense, like at all sometimes, and it's got some funny shit on there. So yeah, Muggle there. You should watch Inferno. Like you could watch all of Inferno Cop in like a half an hour, like the whole series. And this is what this really reminds me of is Inferno Cop. There's even a season 2 of Inferno Cop.
Isn't that coming out, or is that already out?
I don't actually know. I don't actually know. That'll be something to look into. But it's great. The first season anyway was hilarious, and this reminds me of that. And really funny with some DC heroes in there. That'll be great.
The low budget animation where at some point they just start replacing the characters with like circles.
Yeah, they do.
White circles.
In the preview, yeah. Well, I guess if that's all the shows people want to talk about right now, I guess we got no more shows to talk about.
So, now, with all that said, Jing, what show are you looking the most forward to?
Yeah, of the shows we talked about.
I think we fly through a lot of them.
Okay, well,
Yes.
obviously, Soma's the one you're looking. You're going to marathon through the first 2 seasons tonight. I know. You're going to be all ready for season 3. I know that. But, I don't know. Black Clover sounded pretty good. Osumatsu season 2, definitely one I thought maybe you should check out. But I don't know. I mean, you kind of were into the Chinese Zodiac one.
Well, at least the fight scene sounded decent. But wait, Soma anime? Yeah, I do.
Black Clover is one to watch though if you're not looking for one that's like a season 1 or 2 or something. That would be one to maybe get into. But also, this is only the first week. As we get through these other episodes, and me and Brandon are talking about the episodes and stuff, maybe you will get interested in one of them.
I think he'd be into Soma.
Yeah, if you start to describe them and then go into detail of like what's in the
Like what's going on in the episodes. Well, we'll be doing that. We'll be covering the ones that we're watching.
yeah, like after you guys watch it, just come back and then like, talk about it.
But I'm telling you,
And then
Soma...
I'll feed off the excitement of it.
Soma has like my ultimate fucking stamp on it. Like, for sure.
Yeah, I think that what's confusing is that you're not calling it Food War, and that only
Shokugeki no Soma.
I think from here on out we're just going to refer to it as Soma. I think that would be the
when I
best
think of
one.
Soma, I'm thinking of Markiplier and Underwater. So yeah,
Oh, that game? Yeah, that's the horror game.
that's Soma.
Well, no, listen, I'll call it Shokugeki no Soma. You guys can call it Food Wars. I can rage. It'll be a good fun
There
time.
we go. There we go. You call it that, Sam. Jing will call it Food Wars, and I'll just call it Soma.
Okay. Well, I guess now we're out of shows. Next week, like I said, we'll be talking about this season that just happened. We'll be talking about like what we thought of some of the endings to the shows that we did watch. Maybe go over some numbers on what shows are popular and everything. Stuff like that, I guess. And we'll be talking about the news again, and we might be thinking up some new segments to try out. I have an idea myself. Maybe a couple ideas for some segments. I think maybe every week we can go over some of our top lists in different categories or something. I've got an interesting review idea, I think, that Muggle kind of gave me before, so that'll be exciting. But anyway, we've gone almost twice the time that we set for the limit for the first episode, so I'm very surprised. I was worried like that we were going to run out of time, like stuff to talk about in like 15 minutes, and we were going to be like, what the fuck do we do now? But it has been an hour and 29 minutes. Anyway, so
That's
yeah, so we're very exciting. We're very exciting. The show's gonna evolve and stuff, and it's gonna be pretty cool. We think maybe people will listen, maybe people won't. We don't know, but I think for now we're gonna be signing off for the week with a pretty good sounding show. I think So, yeah. Anything else anybody want to say?
Now you have to give your catchphrase and then end it.
Anything anybody else want to say? I don't really have a catchphrase. I guess we'll do a different catchphrase every week. I don't know. We'll go with Okay, everybody want to give a catchphrase? You got any ideas?
I don't have any catchphrases.
Muggle, you got a catchphrase?
I'm calling dibs on that catchphrase. I don't have a catchphrase. That's
I mean, I already gave it, so you're shit out of luck there.
I'll just do the one I did before the show. Okay, I'll just do the one I did before the show. I'll do that. And that's the way the news goes.